Black Ops 7 is officially here, and there's a rumor going around that Warzone will be gone forever. Now, this question has been coming up almost every single day in my live stream, in my YouTube comments, and all over Twitter. And everyone was wondering whether that was true or not. Now, the reason that people think this is because Call of Duty came out with their Black Ops 7 trailer, and they had wingsuits inside of them. I'll show you. If you blinked, you might have missed it, but that was a wingsuit dropping into the Avalon map. Avalon was set to be the BR map that was supposed to come out this year, but they instead scrapped it for Verdansk to come back. So people are wondering, with wingsuits coming back, does that now mean that Blackout 2 will be returning? But after all the questions, all the debates, everybody wondering whether what was actually gonna happen, Call of Duty came out and addressed this and said this. Charlie Intel tweeted out, Activision confirms in the new COD Pod episode that this moment of Black Ops 7 teaser trailer is from the co-op campaign, and yes, it is wingsuits. It's also now officially confirmed to be Avalon. For those of y'all that were hoping for a Blackout 2, I'm sorry, but Blackout 2 will not be returning. I assume what they did here was instead of using Avalon for BR, they're gonna repurpose it and use it for co-op campaign. So you'll probably be dropping into wingsuits in there, but again, no Blackout. Now, were you guys excited about this or were you guys let down? I know a lot of people really did love Blackout almost as much as people love Warzone. But the biggest thing that a lot of people were saying was that with Blackout, it wasn't free to play. But one other common thing that a lot of people don't really take into consideration is that Call of Duty Blackout came out during Fortnite. Probably one of the biggest games in the world probably ever came out during the Blackout era. So some people, including myself, didn't really get to play it as much because I was grinding Fortnite. I played it for a little bit, didn't really like it, and then went back to Fortnite. Fortnite BR came out in July 21st, 2017, and then Blackout came out October 12th, 2018. So pretty close together there. For me, I think that's what stopped Blackout. I didn't really play it as much, but I know the content creators that stayed playing Blackout said they absolutely loved it. With Call of Duty being as stellar as it is, do you guys think that Blackout would revitalize the franchise, or is that something left kind of in the past? Now let's get into a couple leaks of Black Ops 7. A leak from October 2024 on Black Ops 7 had the following. Not all confirmed, but still. Evolution of Omni Movement, which is now confirmed, wall jumping, body shield updates, uplick mode returns, face-off, and gunfight return, and network perked feature. So first and foremost, let's talk about this evolution of movement because this is confirmed. I'm not too sure what this means. How else could Omni Movement be evolved? In my opinion, what I think is gonna happen is it's gonna be exactly how it is right now in Black Ops 6, but I think we might have a slight strafe boost, kind of like in Advanced Warfare where you could kind of zoom left and right. I think that might be what they do, but just boots on the ground. I'm trying to think realistically, how crazier can they get with this? Because we know what people thought about jetpacks. I personally love them, but I know to the vast majority of people, they didn't really like them. So how crazy can you get without upsetting a lot of the casual community? I think that's probably what's going to happen, is it's going to be some more cracked out version of BO6. So if you already didn't like Black Ops 6's movement, you're probably not gonna like Black Ops 7, but only time will tell. The next one here is wall jumping. Now, Activision came out in their COD Pod and said, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will not have wall running or jetpacks. The game's movement will be an evolution of movement. The game is set 30 years before Black Ops 3, so no jetpacks. But they didn't say no wall jumping. They said no wall running and no jetpacks, which I think we all knew. But I think it's pretty safe to say that wall jumping will be coming to Call of Duty Warzone. Now, what exactly does that mean? I think this is basically going to be the exact same as Apex, where you can run to a wall, grab onto it, and push off. I think you're probably going to be able to get into a gunfight, strafe left, jump onto a wall, push off the wall, and get into a gunfight like that. In a way, you're going to be jumping in the air, jumping off walls. I personally love this. I know some of y'all watching this are absolutely pissed, but I think it's pretty cool. Now, with that being said, this game is going to be set 30 years before Black Ops 3. So I believe that's 2035 era. That means that one thing is scheduled to return, and I don't know if you guys like this. I personally love Black Ops 3, but specialists are back. That means active camo, psychosis, maybe Tempest, heatwave, you never know. Now, I'm gonna say this with complete and utter bias. I personally love Black Ops 3, so hearing that we're about to get a game that's somewhat like it or in somewhat the same era makes me incredibly excited. Yeah, no jetpacks, but I do love Omni Movement as well, so I think that's a good trade for me. So let me ask you guys, with this game being set around 2035, you guys like a futuristic COD? I personally never really liked Vanguard or the old school era Call of Duties. For me, I've always loved futuristic CODs. So Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, even Black Ops 2 was set in 2025. All these futuristic CODs I personally love. So I think I'm really going to enjoy Black Ops 7, at least hopefully. Now, how this is going to play into Warzone, we've never really seen. Could we see Warzone turn into something like Apex, where you have characters with abilities? Imagine being in a 1v4 situation endgame and you pop Heat Wave or you pop Psychosis to confuse your enemies and then you somehow pull up the 1v4. Charlie Intel also somewhat agreed with what I was saying. He said the original rumor on Black Ops 7's movement from a playtest claimed the game would have an evolution of Omni Movement, which is now confirmed by the COD pod. The rumor is also it would have a wall jump feature, so based on today's news, it's not full wall running. So again, not wall running or jetpacks, but just a simple wall push off or wall bounce. I was very curious to see what the hype would be like for Black Ops 7. And well, apparently it's doing pretty damn good. So in 24 hours, the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 trailer has surpassed 28 million views, ahead of Black Ops 6's in 1 year, which only had 19 million views. So that's 9 million more views in only 24 hours. Now take this with a grain of salt though, because I've heard that companies can pay to bot people's views. You never know. I'm not saying Activision did that, but I'm just saying it could be possible. As always, we're all hopeful that the next Call of Duty is going to be good because we always get let down by the previous Call of Duty, etc., etc., etc. The cycle goes on. Black Ops 6, I thought was pretty damn good. The base game itself came out and it was honestly one of my favorite Call of Duties ever. One of my favorite multiplayers, at least for the last 3 to 4 years. But then Warzone came out and I obviously went to that, and that was probably the worst experience we've ever had in Warzone. The Warzone integration is a completely separate problem I won't get into in this video because that is actually a shit show. I said I wasn't gonna get into it, but this tweet kind of makes me feel like I have to. In the latest COD Pod episode, Activision acknowledged Season 4 Warzone update being a mess. Activision says the teams have made pretty big changes to deliver smoother experience with seasonal updates moving forward. Look, I don't really know if I believe them anymore. Season 3 came out, Black Ops 6 came out, and the integration was an absolute mess. It had the most insane amount of bugs, the most insane amount of glitches, that the game was quite literally unplayable. The servers were laggy, everything just felt clunky, and it did not feel anything like Black Ops 6. Fast forward after a couple weeks, things got better and better, but every time a new update came out, it ruined things yet again, and then we're stuck on this endless loop of fixing the game, update the game, bugs return, fix the bugs, update the game, bugs return, fix the bugs, etc., etc., etc. Look, I am very happy to see that they at least are acknowledging that they fucked up, because I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever really seen them say, hey, we messed up. Now, is this empty promises? Are these empty words? I don't know. They said big changes have been made to deliver a smoother experience. I really do hope this is true, because regardless of what game we get, whether it's Black Ops 7, Modern Warfare 4 that's projected to come out next year, it doesn't really matter if the game that we're trying to play is unplayable. If the game that comes out has hackers, if the game that comes out has bugs, if the game that comes out has horrible servers. With Season 4 and even Season 4.5 that comes out next week, there hasn't really been any updates to the game. They added a building in the middle, which I think is okay, but no meaningful changes. The metas have stayed the same. They promised that they would do consistent updates to guns, and we haven't really seen that either. They even made some pretty big changes to the playlists themselves, and people were pissed about this one. They took off regular solos and instead added casual solos, and the community was not happy. But they released a statement putting out why they did this, and I think it kind of makes sense. Activision said that casual solos led to 3 times more players trying solo mode, and that BR regular solos in Warzone was consistently the least played playlist. It's kind of crazy to see on Twitter and on Reddit people complaining about how solos is gone, this game is ruined, and people were pissed. The outrage was actually incredibly loud. But then to hear Activision say that, hey guys, we only did this because solos is the least game mode played out of everything. I honestly did not expect that. So if the numbers back it up, I understand why they did it, but they did find some type of compromise. They did say that BR regular solos alongside casual solos will return in Warzone starting today. So they'll be testing both modes out comparatively and probably going to give us the data to show what is better and what they choose to keep. Immediately after that solos announcement, there was a huge leak that came out. Breaking: an internal developer message of the day for Black Ops 7 accidentally went live on the Xbox Call of Duty app, showing new details. New mode, Overload, new mode 20v20. Here they describe it as 2 teams of 6 players each fight to control a neutral EMP device that must be delivered to the enemy HQ for score. Reach the score limit and claim victory by delivering multiple EMP devices. At the bottom of your screen, it has a couple game modes: Overload, TDM, Dom, Hardpoint. And then underneath that, it has Skirmish, which is 20v20. It says here 2 teams of 20 fight to complete objectives across a large map, capture points of interest, destroy payloads, and transmit valuable data to score. Use your wingsuit to flank and reach objectives before your enemy. The first team to reach the score limit wins. This kind of gives me Ground War vibes, but then it says wingsuits, so maybe you can redeploy. So maybe something like a resurgence, I'm not too sure. And then on the last slide, it says here, welcome to the CIP, which stands for Closed Internal Playtest. So it says here, jump in during the hours of 12 to 2 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. PT each day, Friday through Sunday, to help us test out new maps and modes and leave feedback in Parallax playtest on Slack. This is literally going on right now. At the time of recording this video, it is Friday, 1 p.m., which means that it is happening right now. Now, I'm not gonna lie. How the heck this gets leaked into the message of the day, I have no idea. Some could say that this was probably intentional and was seen as S-tier marketing. Doug is Raw, streamer, said, how the F does this even happen? Hunter pointed out something which actually caught my eye. Multiple operators wearing booster packs, and these are not bundle skins. Is this from the base game? So as you can see here, we have exosuits, but they did confirm there is no jetpacks. So what I think this is going to be is it's going to be an early development of jetpacks. So if the game is said to be 30 years before Black Ops 3, what if they have these exosuits that haven't had the ability yet to jump up and in the air, but they are able to go left and right? I don't know, that could sound crazy, but I'm just making some type of hypothesis. Because the only other logical explanation is that this game was supposed to have jetpacks, but then somehow, some way during its development cycle, they decided not to. YouTuber T-Dog said, I spy with my little eye, pointing out the jetpacks. And another Twitter user said, do my eyes deceive me, and them having jetpacks? Again, only time will tell. Maybe this is some type of ability, who knows? If you guys wanted to see this in higher res, this is Overload, and these are certain guns in here as well. One user pointed out this gun to the left right here. He said, is this a PDW? If we zoom in here, it could potentially look like it. Going back to the initial leaks, they did also say uplink mode returns, keeping in conversation with the whole exosuit thing. Uplink was on boots on the ground, but it just worked way better with jetpacks. I'm curious, does this uplink mode have anything to do with exosuits as well? I personally love this era that Call of Duty is going into for this year. Black Ops 7 seems to be promising. Black Ops 6 was incredibly good, but it did lack a lot of support after the game initially came out. Sledgehammer did a really good job with their Modern Warfare 3 game, supporting it throughout its entire yearly life cycle. I feel like Treyarch didn't do the same when it came to their seasonal content. So with Black Ops 7, I think the base game is already going to be pretty good. I just hope that the post-launch support is there for it. I hope that there's new camos that come out every single season. I hope that there's something that they give us to grind every single day. I hope that whenever it gets integrated into Warzone, that there's no bugs, there's no new glitches, and that they can make everything coexist together. But the sad reality is, if by now, 4 years after Warzone's launch, they haven't figured this out by now, it probably never will. I've said it time and time again, Warzone integrations are going to ruin Warzone as a whole. So let me know down below, are you guys excited for Black Ops 7, or are we once again going to be let down?